Hello, namaste. So, just a few comments that I want to make today. So, the way that we're going on in the world, there's a lot of uncertainty, so to speak. Uncertainty because, we know that we're at the edge of a precipice. And, if you're in tune with your energy body, if you are in tune, if you read anything on the planets or just what's going on a global level and on a historical level, and you're taking into consideration ancient texts and these kind of things, we know that we're in a very transformational time right now. And, there's still people that have no idea. They have absolutely no idea what's going on. And if you bring up, anything, oh, well, this, ancient text, and I'm going to just say ancient text because, this could be any kind of religious text. It could be any kind of historical text. It could be, predictions that were made 200 years ago. It could be anything. So, if you bring up any of these things, some people are just, they're very touchy on it. They're going to label you like a conspiracy theorist immediately. They're going to call you crazy, and unfortunately, it's unfortunate for them because they are the people that are still sleeping and they are the people with this kind of like cognitive dissonance that, whatever you tell them is just, it's whatever they want to think and that's it. They are, once you kind of, close your ears and close your eyes and just want to believe what you believe, that is when you stop learning. And, it's unfortunate because I think these people are, they're going to suffer the most in a certain sense. Those that are awake, at least the information is there that, once you are awake, once you know certain things that are happening, you can make certain preparations. So I just want to make that, just to make the comment that we know that we are in an extremely transformational time right now. And I think the most important thing that we have to remember is, as this goes on, we just, there's certain things that, will still be coming down the pipeline, so to speak. And we do need to make a decision, which side we're on, because there is going to be a separation and it's already happening and you can already see it, especially, I read like a lot of the comments on different YouTube videos, etc. And you can just see, a lot of the people that are pretty much like banned from their families or banned from their friends. And so the separation has already happened. And, we have no idea what's coming. Just keeping an eye on global events, maybe there's something big that's coming, maybe it's really nothing at all. And then, again, that's, only those that are making these plans would know. You have to have some kind of insider information, essentially. But whatever it is, it's still, the perspective of the person that's living it. Because, even in these past few months, there were people in quarantine that it was devastating, absolutely devastating for them. And, you know, some people are not used to, being inside and, being forced to look at, or confront certain situations. So some people had a very, very hard time through this. And for other people, it was really nothing at all. It came and it went. And, I know for me personally, I just used the time to study some more and you know, I enjoy reading, so it was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna read again today. So, so whatever's coming in, that will be coming, whatever it is, it could be terrible for some people and not so terrible for others. And then it obviously depends, on the preparations you've made. And this is where knowledge is handy, because if something devastating does happen, let's say that food shortages happen and you've prepared yourself with, a few months of food, then you can ride this out relatively easy. Other people, maybe they will have to wait in the food lines to get a daily portion of something to eat or whatever. So just that being said, we know that there is something coming. There's a certain energy in the air. We're on the edge of something great and grand that is about to happen. And as always, the point that I wanted to make, or the comment that I wanted to make, is, as with any transition, there's always fear of this unknown. But as the fear comes, we just have to simply face it with courage. And that's where the self-work will come in handy, because as you do the self-work, you can build that strength within. As you release certain things that no longer serve you, you can fulfill yourself again with light and power, kind of like re-empower yourself to be able to, confront certain situations. So, we have to remember that anything that we go through is going to be temporary. It's not going to last forever. Personal suggestions that I would have, since we don't know, it's hard to say, a lot of people say, well, if you're in a city, you have to get out of a city. Some people in cities don't have really anywhere that they can go. And, some other people say, well, if you're out in the country, make sure that you build a small community. And even then, you don't know exactly what will happen, what's the best plan of attack. The best thing really is, find a place that you feel semi-secure. If you are next to a nuclear plant and you don't know what's going to happen, maybe it's not the most secure place to be. So suggestions for this transitional period, I would say, find a secure place, someplace that you feel relatively stable, and, stock up, get, maybe an extra month worth of food, or maybe an extra month worth of water, or, definitely food and water should be something that we should always have a little bit of a backup, even for just, emergencies, like the electricity goes out for a week, what would you do? And, there's plenty of like prepper videos that you can go to find that information. But just on like a common sense kind of level, if the power goes out, what do you do for, 3 or 4 days? So, stock up on a little bit of extra food, stock up on a little bit of extra water. It probably wouldn't hurt to have, a first aid kit. It probably wouldn't hurt to, maybe even make friends with your neighbor, or know who your neighbor is, in the case that something happens and you need to, maybe do some bartering. So just these little things that you can take steps to start doing to prepare yourself in any event. Because, we do know, with the energy and the movement of the planets and everything that we've been living, and, taking into consideration, like I said, historical, times in history where we've kind of seen the same thing that's been repeated, it never hurts to just start to prepare as best as possible. Another suggestion, besides food and water, and besides, maybe extra supplies like flashlights, first aid, etc. And another thing, being in a place that you feel semi-secure, is, maybe try to be around some like-minded people, get to know at least, maybe a couple, three other people in your neighborhood that think the same as you do. There's always safety in numbers, and that is also going to be very important. And I would also suggest that, if you are in a city, for example, to, maybe have like a way out if for some reason, you need to take the car and get out of the city, or, if you need to have like a safe place in the city, or anywhere for that matter. If you're like in a family of 5, for example, and everybody has jobs in 5 different areas, what happens if for some reason you can't meet at your home location? What kind of other strategy would you have? Would it be like a local park that you could all meet at? Or, and what if you didn't have cell phones? Like, what if the phone service went down? And it's not like preparing for disaster. It's just kind of common sense that we should always have like an emergency plan, and we should review those emergency plans, because that's exactly what emergency is. You never know what's going to come up in life. So, especially in these times right now that, we have this huge transformation right now, this global transformation that's taking place. And we don't know what's coming up. It could be nothing, but it could be everything. So why not just take, 2 or 3 extra precautions to just feel a little bit more secure. On that note, I also wanted to bring up even finances. I know that they're trying to eliminate cash in most areas. However, I would still even suggest, even things like if the power goes out a few days, it probably wouldn't hurt to just have, $100 or, a couple $100 cash, that you keep in your purse, or you keep in your wallet, or you keep it, in a jar on your kitchen table, or just anything that you can just, if for some reason you need to have quick access to cash, then you have the cash on hand. So these are just like some tips, I guess, some suggestions. And like I said, there's like super good prepper videos that go into like a lot of good details and information. And I'll put a couple links of some that I watch below. And you guys can, do more research on that. And, but hopefully, everything will be okay in everybody's part of the world. And I just, I want to send out that inspiration to everybody that, you do have power and strength within you. And you'll see that once you, do some self-work and, start to empower yourself again. And a part of feeling powerful in your person is by taking necessary steps also to, know that you can handle a situation. For example, the more prepared you are, the more secure you will feel, and the more empowered you will feel. So I hope these tips help. Let me know if you have anything else that you want to add. I'd love to hear the comments about it. And if you want to like the video, go ahead and like. And if you want to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. And namaste.